Okay, good morning. We're coming live to you this morning from Streetlights Billiards and are doing the big long race Schedule Your Own 9-ball tournament. Today we've got Adrian Villena and David Choi. It looks like David Choi has won the lag and is now shooting on the 2-ball. He missed that by just a little bit and gave Adrian a pretty good opportunity here. We'll see what he can do with this. Okay. Adrian hit the 3 nicely. I think he's got a little bit of an angle there that he can use to try to come back down to get onto the 4. Well, maybe there wasn't as much angle as it appeared. It looked like he had to draw back to try to create an angle there and did a pretty good job. He is on the 4. He's slightly on the wrong side of it, so he's got a little bit of work to do to get from the 4 to the 6 here as well. Nice shot on the 4. He's got a tester here on the 6. He'll try to pocket it into the upper left-hand corner. But the challenge on top of that is getting a nice stroke on here to try to bring it back to get that 7 down into the probably lower right-hand corner. So let's see what he can do here. He just went for the pot, and he was successful in that. He can see the 7. It's a very steep angle, so I don't think that he'll try to cut that in. I'm guessing that he may consider a safety here, maybe trying to head pretty straight at that 7 ball, trying to stick the cue ball there and then trying to run the 7 ball up to the top rail. But a few different ways to play this shot, so we'll see what he decides to do here. Well, he did try to cut it and was overcut it a little bit, and fortunately avoided the scratch there. The cue ball almost went into the lower right hand pocket, and so David has an opportunity here on the 7. Definitely not an easy shot. He's got some length to deal with here. Looks like he's looking at trying to hit it relatively soft and then bring that cue ball across to bring the 8 ball into the side pocket afterwards. Our first reminder of the tight pockets on this diamond black table. It does have the 4 1/8 inch pockets, which are very tight and can make some of these shots a lot more difficult. So Adrian is shooting the 8 now. The 9 is pretty much over the pocket, so this is really the shot for this particular rack. And he made that. He's got a long shot of the 9, but I think that it's far enough off the rail where he can just tap that in. He missed it by a little bit there and gave David an opportunity to take this first rack. Okay, let's see what he can do here. Again, not an easy shot. I expected so he's putting a little bit of draw on it, or stop shot. And sunk the 9 to take the first rack. So David does have a pretty sizable Fargo advantage over Adrian. David's Fargo is 613. Adrian comes in at 514. So almost 100-point difference. which is not insurmountable, but is significant. So Adrian is a bit of the underdog here, but almost had that first rack, and let's see what he can do here. And we've got Jay Beckett reffing today. Nice break. One went into the side pocket. The 2 is a little funny. He might try a 2-8 combo here. Okay. Looks like he's trying the combo. Or maybe he was playing a safety there. He hid nicely behind the 7 ball. So Adrian will have a decision to make here, whether to try to potentially jump this or play a kick off of that top rail. It looks like he's electing for the kick shot. And really just trying to hit this medium pace and maybe get a little bit lucky. So it didn't turn out too bad. David's got a shot on the 2, but it's not an easy one. If he can sink this, though, he should have relatively natural position on the 3. Just put a little bit of top spin on this, hit it relatively soft, and let that cue ball kind of carry down table. Nice shot there. He's pretty straight on the 3. So may have to try to draw this out, or nice shot on the 3. And I think that 4 ball goes by the 8. So he should be able to pocket this into the upper right hand corner, and then if that 5 ball also goes by the 9, then he'll try to set himself up for that 5 in the lower right hand corner, I think. Okay, nice shot. He went a different direction, and maybe that 5 didn't go by the 9, or maybe this is just a little bit easier position shot. So he'll either try to cut this or bank this into the side. Well, he elected to play a safety. It's a good shot. Left a lot of distance. He's got a couple of blockers there. So Adrian will have to try to do a 2-rail kick here. I'm guessing that he's going to come off of that right rail. The 7 ball's in the way for the other kick, so presumably he'll try to come down off of that right rail and then come on the bottom. Well, no, maybe he can see in between there? Or maybe he's trying to put some English on this, hit the bottom rail first. That's what he was trying to do. Seemed like a lot of angle to try to compensate for there, but a good attempt. Unfortunately, he gave David ball in hand, and David's got a pretty workable table here. Don't see any real problems. Okay, nice position on the 6. He gave himself a little bit of an angle so that he can try to draw back off of the rail and set himself up nicely to make the 7 into the upper left-hand corner. Just like that. He probably would have liked to come a couple of inches further, but should be okay from there. He's putting a little bit of inside English on that and left himself a fairly steep cut on the 8, but it's pretty close to the pocket and it looks like it's off the rail, so it gives him natural position for the 9, so he doesn't really have to put anything on this, just hit it nice and easy. Okay, he decided to use that extra rail and hit it a little harder than he would have liked. He left himself a relatively long shot here, but similar to the one that he made in the first game. And he hit it perfectly, and David has taken the second rack and is out to a 2-0 lead. Jay is racking again. Okay, Jay is racking again. Good morning, Youssef. Hi, Jessica. How's everyone doing this morning? Hi, Dion. Thank you. Okay, so Jay is a passive referee, which means that he does rack each game, but he does not watch every shot. He only watches shots upon request from the players. Okay, so David broke dry on that one. He did not leave Adrian an easy shot, so Adrian, I think, will either elect to do a push out here or potentially play some kind of safety. So he's playing a safety. He did give David a shot here. He's looking to see how he might want to get on this 2. I'm not sure if he'll try to draw this back. If he does, it looks like he's trying to put some top on this. He's going to have to give this a real nice stroke to get it back for the 2. Whenever you have to hit it that hard, it always makes the pockets a little smaller and is going to decrease your accuracy a little bit. He was fairly fortunate to not leave Adrian a shot on the 1 ball, even though it is hanging over the corner. The 9 ball is in the way, so Adrian is looking to see how he might get on that 1. There aren't any obvious paths. The 1 rail kicks are both taken. Looks like he's trying to do a 2 rail kick here, maybe. Great shot by Adrian and a little bit of bad luck there. But really nice 2 rail kick shot. So David now has ball in hand. The 2 and the 3 are real easy. It looks like the balls are set up pretty well. The 9 is kind of in front of the 8 ball, so if he does get to that point, there may be a little work getting from the 7 to the 8. Okay. Nice position onto the 4. He does have to work up and down table a little bit here. He's got to go up for the 4, down for the 5, up for the 6, down for the 7. So not an easy out. Okay, looks like he's trying to draw this back. assuming that means that 5 does go by that 7. It's a little challenging to tell from the monitor, but it looks like that's what he tried to set himself up for. And if it does, he should have natural position to get onto this 6 ball into the upper right-hand corner. Nice shot on the 5. He bumped that 8. I don't think that he was trying to bump that. He made the 6 a little more difficult of an angle, but at the same time he did separate that 8 from that 9, so if he can make this 6, it'll make it a little easier down the road to finish this rack off. Nice cut on the 6. Nice position on the 7. He wants to leave himself a little bit of an angle on the 8 here so he can come up easily to get the 9 ball. Okay. He's probably a little straighter than he would want to be, but it should be okay here. He may just try to draw this back with a little low left. And then once that left hits the rail, it will reverse and go to the right. Just like that. He's got a little bit of an angle here, but I expect that he'll pocket this. Put just a little bit of right-hand English on this to help it into the pocket. And David has taken game 3 and is up 3-0, playing very well. David to break from the right-hand side. It looks like he has been trying to get the 1 into the right side pocket on his break, and has been pretty consistent on either getting it there or close to that side pocket. So let's see, let's keep an eye on this 1 and see if it tracks towards that pocket again here. Made the 2 ball. He's got a open shot on the 1. And there aren't any problem balls. No out is going to be an easy out on this table, but nothing is clumped together. Nice opening shot on the 1. I think he probably would have preferred to be a little bit on the other side of the 3. He may now elect to just put a little bit of top on this and take a little longer shot on the 4. That's what I think he's looking at here. If he was just a hair on the other side of the 3, he'd just draw back for that 4. But given that he's on, I think, slightly on the wrong side, he may just try to follow this and okay, looks like he's got a pretty good angle on that. I think that he can get by that 5 okay. And he'll be taking this 4 into the upper right-hand pocket and just put a little follow on it to set himself up for the 5 into the lower right-hand pocket. Nice shot. Again, probably a little straighter than he'd like to be on the 5. It's going to require him to hit this a little harder to try to get position on the 6. So we may be seeing, unless he can go slightly below that 8 and take a little more angle on it, or try to put top on it and bring it around a couple of rails. Okay, nice shot. And great position on the 6. He's looking at his next target, and he's just going to try to put a little bit of left on this and set himself up for the 7 in the side pocket, the left-hand side pocket, and wants to be fairly straight on this so he can just stop it for that 8 ball. And then on the 8 ball, he'll want to give himself a little bit of an angle to make it easier to get up table for the 9 ball. Okay, elected just to run past that a little bit to give himself a nice angle to get up onto the 9 ball. Probably just put a little bit of low left on this and try to position himself for the 9 into the upper right hand corner. I'm going to get down a little further, but this shouldn't be a problem. Just get a little bit of a cut there, but just nice and easy. Really focus on just getting the right angle on this. Don't have to worry about position. He overcut it just a little bit and did get Adrian a shot. It's a little tricky because the 9 is on the rail, but Adrian may elect to put some right-hand English on this and really hit the ball just to the left of the 9 ball, almost hitting the rail first. Unless it's a little further off, then he can just use a straight shot on it. Nice cut by Adrian to get on the board. So David is now up 3 games to 1. This is a race to 15, and the players will get a break after 9 games and also after 18 games. And just a big shout out to Jay, who has been really putting a lot of time into helping out with this tournament and being a referee. Him and Zach both are probably master rackers at this point, if there is such a thing. And perhaps Adrian as well, who's playing today, but has also been reffing a lot of these matches. So Adrian pockets the ball on the break. He'll go for the 1 in the right-hand side and may try to dig into this a little bit and come back up for the 1 into the upper right-hand corner. Or it looks like he may be trying to play top on this. Okay. He wasn't going to the side, he was going to the corner. It's a nice shot. Doesn't have anything obvious on the 2 ball here. So he may just try to stop it there and hide it behind that 5. Okay. I didn't think he had the angle for the cut, but again, looking at the monitor, it can be a little deceiving sometimes. Nice cut by Adrian on that, and position for the 3 ball as well. Left himself nicely for the 5. The 6 is sitting right over the corner. So a pretty good looking table here and a good opportunity for Adrian to inch a little closer and keep this match close early on. He overcut it just a little bit. So David has an opportunity here. He's got a little bit of distance on the 5, but really doesn't have to do much with it. We'll probably just try to stop the cue ball right there. So I think that this is probably the shot of the rack right here. If this goes in, the rest of the balls are laid out pretty well. Nice shot by David. He's been pretty accurate on those types of shots this morning. If he has a little bit of an angle here, he'll probably try to just bring this out to leave himself for the 7 in the side pocket. Looks like he had to try to create a little angle there and came a little shorter than he would have liked. So left himself a challenging shot on the 7. Let's see what he can do with this one. He'll try to just roll this into the upper right-hand corner. Well, he likes to give a little more pace to those types of shots. I do more of a kind of pocket speed on that shot, but he's been putting pace on those. A couple of those 9 balls early on, he put a little more pace on than I typically would as well, but working very well for him. Pretty nice leave on the 9 ball. He's got a little bit of an angle here, but I suspect that he should be in pretty good shape on this one. And a nice cut, avoids the side pocket, and David is up 4 games to 1. The Schedule Your Own 9-ball tournament is part of a series of tournaments that are being held at Streetlights Billiards Academy throughout the summer, the DMV Pool Championships. And in addition to being able to win individual tournaments, there is a cumulative system to determine who is the best player in the DMV, and to use these tournaments as a way for people to earn points towards that title. So Adrian is up to the table after a dry break. He tried to shoot the 1 in, was a little off on that. It looks like David can make this one into the side pocket, and then maybe just run the ball, cue ball, a little bit down to try to make that 2 into the upper right-hand corner. It looks like that's what he was looking at for his position. So real soft here. Left himself a little bit of an angle on this. So the cue ball may come back and forth here. I think that originally he was probably trying to go into that left side pocket for the 3, but given the angle, he may decide to come across and take that 3 into the right-hand side pocket instead. Well, he was able to hold that pretty well. That was a nice shot on the 3 ball. The 4 is a little tricky just because of the proximity of the 5 ball to it. And the 3 ball rattled and kind of spit out on that one. So Adrian will be back to the table. He doesn't have an easy shot on the 3, but he may try to cut this. He does try to cut it. And missed the cut. Left a similar shot for David to take on if he does decide to take on the cut shot. Again, position on the 4 isn't easy. Okay, very nice cut by David. And a little bump on the 5 there, which gave him perfect position on the 4. So David's getting the bridge out for this shot. Plays it nicely. And sets himself up perfectly for the 5. I expect that he'll just draw this back a little bit, try to get fairly straight onto the 6. Well, he chose to use top on it. But I think we'll try to take this 6 into the side and maybe try to draw out a little bit here, put a little low right on this and come off the bottom rail, and then that right will kick in just enough to give him position onto the 7 into the lower left-hand corner. Okay, well, he decided to use a couple rails on that instead. Went a little bit different path, but a very effective one. Left himself shot on the 7 in the side pocket and a natural angle to get the leave on the 8 in the bottom left-hand pocket. It rattled. These side pockets are particularly challenging on this table. There are also 4 1/8 inch, so those points can stick out and really cause some problems sometimes. I'm not sure if Adrian can see this full. I don't think he can. So let's see if he might try to swerve this around a little bit, or if he may elect to do a kick shot instead. Trying a kick shot and did hit the ball. Unfortunately, he scratched, but he did tie the 7 and the 8 up. So I'm not sure if it's dead on, it won't be a problem, but if it's a little off, and it must be a little off the way he's lining this up, it looks like David's going to try to play a safety here and try to leave the cue ball on the other side of that 9 ball, use that 9 as a blocker. So he's just going to hit this 7 ball real thin, pretty softly, and try to land right behind that 9. He took it a little further than he wanted to, so Adrian, I think, can see the edge of that 7, and I expect that he'll just try to catch the left-hand edge of that 7 from the viewer perspective and run that cue ball up table. The other option would be to go straight at it and try to stick the cue ball there, which is what he did. David can see the 7, but it is a tough shot, and even if he can make it, it's an even tougher to get back onto that 8. It looks like he's thinking about a crossbank here, kind of a two-way shot. So if he did go for this, he'd leave himself a relatively natural position on the 8, and if he missed it, he would be hoping to leave the cue ball somewhere in the center up there, like that. So kind of a two-way shot there. Nice attempt. He left it a little closer to the pocket than he probably wanted to, and so even though it's not an easy cut, I think Adrian does have a shot on the 7 into the upper left-hand corner, and if he can pocket this, would have relatively natural position onto the 8 ball. He undercut it a little bit, left a lot of distance for David, but the 7 ball is relatively close to that pocket. So David will be going for the same pocket and trying to leave himself in a similar position to where the cue ball is right now. He overcut it a little bit. And I think Adrian tries the bank shot here. Just tries to stop it right there. Just like that. Nice shot, Adrian. And he's got a little bit of an angle on the 8, which will make it easier to get position on the 9 ball. Okay, he elected to draw it out. It's not right on the rail, which is good. Great bank shot from Adrian there, and pockets the 9 to take game number 6. Okay. Adrian to break from his left-hand side. Had some movement on the balls, but a dry break. So David will come to the table. He could potentially cut that 1 ball. It's not an easy cut. So I think that he'll either try to cut that 1 into the upper left-hand corner, or maybe play a safety here where he tries to hit that 1 back up table and hide the cue ball behind the 4 ball on the left-hand side. And that's what he's trying to do. Let's see where he ends up here. He did not want that to go in. He was playing a safety all the way there. So he has snookered himself in the process by that 1 making its way into the pocket. It's challenging to tell if he can get by that 5 for the. It looks like he's looking at a 2-rail kick shot and trying to do a kick and stick here to get below that 2, kick that 2 up table, and keep that cue ball down on the bottom there. So he caught the 2 ball before it got to the second rail, and did manage to get it in. A little fortunate there, but 9 ball is the game where fortune can come into play from time to time. And left himself pretty nicely on the 4. And what he'll be trying to do here is to take the 6 ball into the same pocket as the 5, that bottom right-hand corner. The 8's in the way for it going into the bottom left. And set himself up nicely. He's got a little work to get onto the 7, just because he's got a fairly steep angle there, so it'll be a little trickier to control this cue ball. He may elect to bump into the 7, hit this relatively softly. Now it looks like he's trying to draw back to the rail to take the 7 into the lower right-hand corner. He's got a little bit of an angle here, which means that cue ball is going to be tracking up table. So it's possible that he tries to go around the world here for a position. Not sure if he can hold this or not. He'll either try to hit this real soft to leave for the 8 in the lower left-hand corner, or if he doesn't think he can hold it, he'll go around probably 3 rails. Again, probably to try to leave position for the 8 in the lower left-hand corner either way. Well, it looks like he might be thinking about bumping this ball. Or may not have a choice because of the angle. So he's trying to figure out where that 8 ball is going to go if he does bump it on this shot. Really nice attempt there. The 7 rattled, but if it had gone in, he would have had really nice position on the 8 into the side. So another opportunity for Adrian here. The 7 is right on the corner, so this is about getting nice position on the 8 to make it easy to get yourself on the 9. And he probably would have preferred to be higher up, but we'll probably just use this top rail and try to come up and back down again. Got pretty straight on that. So he is trying to cut this into the lower right hand corner. It's a pretty steep cut, but he nailed it. Where's that cue ball going? He's okay. A very nice cut by Adrian to keep this match close. That was game 7. Oops, sorry, I put the wrong number in. 3. Okay. So David has 4 games, and Adrian is inching back and is just 1 game away. So Adrian will have the break. Last time I believe he elected to break from his left side, and he is again. Nice movement. The 2 was one of the last balls moving and managed to get into the side pocket right at the end there. He does have an opening shot on the 1 ball. This cue ball might be moving a little bit. He tried to hit it real soft and overcut it a little bit. Whenever you hit it real soft like that, a couple of things can happen. One is sometimes you don't get that follow through you're looking for. At least for me, I kind of stop as I'm going through there, which can cause the ball to squirt over a little bit. Okay. So David has a shot on the 3 here. It looks like he's going to try to take this down into the lower right-hand corner based on where he was looking at position for the 4 ball. David does make it a little easier to anticipate what he might do on the shots because he often points to the spot on the table that he is trying to get to for his position shot. You can see right there that he's trying to get to the spot where he just pointed to, so that means that he'll probably be just hitting this 4 real softly to just nudge. Okay, or not. He was trying to get to that spot. He was trying to use an extra rail, but still has a nice position on the 5 to go into the side pocket. Nice shot into the side. A little off angle on the 6. It's hard to tell from the monitor what the preferred shot here is. If he can, looks like he's looking at that the side pocket for this. Very nice cut. He tapped that 9 ball, which was a little unfortunate. It's going to give him some distance on the 7. Fortunately, the 7 is pretty close to the corner. And if he can make the 7, he doesn't have any problems getting position on the 8. Rattle the 7. So Adrian has a good opportunity to try to tie up the match here. These are pretty deep shelves on the pockets as well, so it can sometimes make it a little more challenging when the ball is real close to the corner to get the kind of position you want on the next shot. But Adrian pockets the 8 and leaves himself a good opportunity on the 9 ball. He missed the 9. So David will be trying to cut this into the lower left-hand corner. And he has also missed the 9 into the same corner. Adrian's back up to the table. He does have a shot at the 9. Definitely not an easy one. There's a lot of distance there, and he's got that side pocket to contend with. He doesn't want to scratch into that, so I think that he'll try to hit this relatively softly and try to roll this into the lower right-hand corner. Not sure if he was trying to play it safe there or if he just missed it. He did get pretty. He left David a pretty challenging shot. So David may elect to try to do a bank shot here. If the bank doesn't look like it's quite on, he may try to catch the left hand edge of the 9 ball and bring the cue ball back down and leave a similar difficult shot for Adrian. He did try the bank. And Adrian once again has an opportunity to tie this match up. Okay, we've got a 4-4 match. This is a winner break format. So Adrian will be breaking again, and he's electing to go for the left-hand side. I think he's had a couple of dry breaks in a row. Sometimes if I have a couple of dry breaks in a row, I'll try the other side just to see if it's breaking a little easier. But Adrian's going to give it another shot from this side and see what happens. Actually, I think that he did make the 2 ball on the last break, so I stand corrected on the dry break comment I just made. David is back to the table. Shot on the 1. Trying to bring it around for the 2 into the side. Fell a little short. He may still be able to see the edge of that 2 and try to cut it into the side. It's not going to be an easy cut, but the 3 is sitting over the pocket, so position isn't as much of a concern on this. Nice attempt. Adrian's back to the table. The 2 is looking good. The 3 is looking good. The 4, he could either do a 4 or 5 combo. A pretty nice looking layout here. Let's see if he decides to go for the 4 or 5 combo here, or if he tries to come around. I'm just going to go for the combo. 5 sitting right there. The thing you do want to be careful about on this shot is think about the possibility of the 4 going in. So you really want to be able to leap yourself on the 6 if the 4 does happen to follow the 5 in here. It did just stay up, but he did leave himself positioned on the 6 in the case that that would have fallen. So it's pretty deep in there. It looks like he's trying to go rail first. No, he had to go straight at it. Again, with those deep shelves, it can take away a lot of those rail first position shots off of those corners. So Adrian has the 6 in the side here. I believe the 7 goes by the 9 in the lower left-hand corner. Well, it did anyways. He bumped the 9 and unfortunately put it in the way of the 7 there. So he does have a chance at a combination to win the game here, but it's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. He may have been playing a little bit of a two-way shot there with his ball speed. He left the cue ball up table, created some distance, so David will have to decide if he wants to give a go to make the 7, but more likely it looks like he's going to be trying to hide the cue ball behind the 9. So he's going to hit this 7 fairly full, just a little bit on the right hand side, and try to take that cue ball off the bottom rail and just stick it right on that 9 and send that 7 ball up table. That wasn't exactly how I was envisioning it, but it worked out pretty well. Adrian's trying to kick shot on the 7. And nice hit. I expect that David will try to cut that 7 into the upper left-hand corner and would have fairly natural position to make the 8 into the lower right-hand corner if he does make this. A lot of people would try to leave position for that 8 into the side pocket. You can do that, but by just taking it into that lower right-hand corner, you can hit the 7 a lot softer and be a little more accurate on it, I think. So he's got the 8. He's got a nice shot on the 9 here. And David has once again taken the lead. He is up 5 games to 4. They do have the option to take a break here. I'm not sure if they will do that or if they'll continue playing. But there are scheduled breaks after game 9 and after game 18. It looks like they're going to keep going. Okay, David to break. He's breaking from his right-hand side. And comes up dry. Adrian will have a shot on the one ball. Nice shot on the one. Okay, so David is looking at this. The two ball is pretty makeable, but it's a question of what's going to happen if he's going to nick that three ball or how he's going to try to set up for that three ball because it does look like he has a hard time avoiding hitting that three ball, which could put it down to the rail, and the nine ball or the five ball could create obstacles down there. So it looks like Adrian is multitasking. He's putting comments in while he's playing, so that's pretty impressive. It's following suit of what Jason Harris was doing last week, providing commentary throughout his match. Okay, so I think that he's looking over the table closely. Maybe thinking about a safety here. The two may cut into the side, but it's not an easy shot by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, he was playing safety. It squirted out just a little bit at the end there. So I do think that Adrian can see this too, and it looks like he's going for this in the lower left-hand pocket. Well, maybe he couldn't see it to pot it, I'm not sure. Morning, Z. How are you doing? Okay, nice shot on the three ball. Did he get far enough to be able to see that four into the corner? It looks like that eight ball is real close there. It's going to be tight going through here, but his body language says that he does have this shot. He missed it by just a hair and has given Adrian pretty good position on the four ball here. He'll leave himself just a little bit of an angle on the five so he can try to come up for the six. Left a little bit of a funny angle there. He's still going to try to make this into the upper right-hand corner, I think. No, he's cutting it back. It's a very nice cut. He doesn't have position on the 7, so he may be thinking about some kind of safety here, or perhaps a bank shot. He's trying to play a safety, trying to hide behind the 8 there, and cue ball got a little bit away from him, and he's scratched in the upper left-hand pocket. So David is back up to the table. He's got a 3-ball run out here. He's just going to try to draw this back a little bit for the 8. Give himself a little bit of an angle. And take this 1, maybe 2 rails. He overcut it just a little bit. So Adrian has a good opportunity to tie the match back up. Just wants to take his time here. Make sure he's tidy with this. Okay. He made the 8-ball, left himself a little bit of distance on the 9, but I think that he'll be okay here. And he slams the 9 home. And we've got a tie match again. This could be a good one. And this tournament is being held at Streetlights Billiards Academy. Streetlights is located in Northern Virginia in Alexandria. And it is a private club where people can pay a weekly or monthly membership fee to have 24/7 access to the facilities. And the equipment here is top of the line, 9-foot diamond tables. And Littman lights have recently been installed above all the tables as well. Not sure if he can see the 2-ball. He might be able to see the edge of it, but probably not to pot it, so I think this will be some kind of safety attempt here. Okay. Nice shot. Hit it behind the 8 there. David may be getting his jump cue out here. He's going to try to jump this, try to pocket this into the side pocket. And has done so successfully. A very nice jump shot. I think he just got past that 4 to be able to see the 3 into the upper right-hand pocket. He's just going to try to draw this back, leave himself with a 4 on the side. Nice shot there. I think he'll probably just hit this real softly. Just try to inch up towards that 5 a little bit. Should have nice position here. Okay, he's got a little bit of an angle in the 5, which is good. He can just take this one rail and then take the 6 into the same pocket. He may go a couple of rails here. It's kind of a preference. Just one rail. So it looks like he's going to try to take this longer shot on the 7. Would have liked to have been a little straighter on that. But still a makeable shot. And if he can make this, he should still have decent position on the 8. So we just want to focus on the shot here, not worry about your position so much. He overcut it a little bit. And Adrian may be looking at a bank shot here. Very nice shot. Left himself position on the 8 ball. And if he can pocket this 8, he'll have natural position on the 9 as well. Nice shot on the 8. And if Adrian can make this 9, he will take the lead for the first time this match. Okay, Adrian's taking the lead. After 11 games, Adrian is up 6 games to 5. Adrian will be waking again from the left-hand side. Made a couple balls on the break. Can see the 2. Doesn't have an obvious pocket. He may be going for a combo here. No, he's going for the bank shot. Nailed it. He's got a shot on the 3. He's got some distance. But if he can make it, it should be fairly natural position for the 4 after that. He overcut it just a little bit. So now David is back up to the table. We're shooting for the 3 in the same pocket. And nice shot from David to get a little draw on that 3 and make the position on the 4 a lot easier. So he's got a nice little angle here where he should just be able to draw it again and take the 5 into the same corner as the 4. He rattled the 4. It looked like he may have come up a little bit as he was shooting that. It's always important to stay still on your shots, but particularly with these small pockets. And something that I'm challenged with frequently is staying down on the ball. Nice safety attempt by Adrian. He did let the cue ball get away from him a little bit and scratched. Gives David ball in hand and a nice opportunity here to take this rack. He's got a 5 ball run out. Everything is positioned fairly well. It is going to take a little bit of work. I don't know if that 8 goes into the side or not. So he'll be taking the 7 into the lower left-hand corner. And that one probably went a little further than he would have liked it to, and is fairly straight. So it is going to be a little bit of work getting from this 8 to the 9. Let's see how he decides to tackle this one. He did a pretty good job getting onto the 9. Unfortunately, rattled the 8. And Adrian has good position. Left himself a pretty steep angle on this. So had to go for the bank shot instead of the cut, which is what he would have been trying to position himself for there. Missed the bank shot, but got a little fortunate on the leave, left a lot of distance. David can either try to bank this or cut it. It looks like he's looking at the cut shot. So trying to make this into the lower right-hand corner. He undercut it a little bit. And let's see where this cue ball ends up. Adrian has an opportunity to make this 9 ball. It's tricky, but makeable. But he nailed it. Nice shot from Adrian, and he's now up 7 games to 5. Okay, Adrian broke. And a dry break, so David will be up to the table. You can see the 1. Looks like he's got a thin cut to potentially make it into the upper left-hand corner here. Nice shot. Left himself fairly straight on the 2. So I think he'll try to draw this back a little bit and go for the 3-5 combo after this shot, if he makes it. Looks like he might be following. No. He drew it back. Left himself nice position for the 3-5 combo. Okay, the 3 is set up nicely. Looks like he's trying to position this to take the 4 into the upper right hand pocket. So let me just put a little bit of left English on this to try to hold it. He would probably like to be a little straighter on this, so it would be easier to get on the 6. So now he may have to try to come to the, with the cue ball to the left side to take the 6 into the bottom right hand corner, where originally he was probably trying to make the 6 into the bottom left hand corner. So he'll just kind of draw this to the rail, just like that. It was a little off on the shot. And by having to draw to the rail because of that angle, he had to hit a little harder, which can have some impact on the accuracy. So Adrian is up to shoot. And he's playing a safety on this, trying to hide behind the 6 and the 9. It looks like he has done so pretty nicely. So David is looking at a 1-rail kick shot off of the left-hand rail. And probably wants to hit this medium pace to try to create some separation here. Came a little short on that. Gives Adrian ball in hand. So Adrian left himself just a little bit of an angle here to make it easier to get on the 7 ball. He rattled it. His tight pockets can be frustrating sometimes. That ball will go on just about any other table, any table that you would normally play on at a bar or okay, so David will just try to take this nice and easy, take the cue ball off that top rail and bring it back down to leave the 8 ball, leave himself a shot of the 8 ball into the lower right hand corner. Well, he decided to take it a couple of rails instead of just going straight off 1 rail, and has left himself a little bit of an angle. Well, it should be okay on this. I'll just draw it back a little bit to that side rail. And then came off again and has a good shot on the 9 into the lower left-hand corner. Okay, nice shot by David to bring it within 1 game. Again, this is a race to 15, so we're not quite to the halfway point yet. Golden break. And the 9 does count on the break in this tournament. So that is a quick victory for David and ties the match back up. So as I think I mentioned before, Streetlights does have 24/7 access, which is great. I personally love that I can come here and play at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on the weekends. But in addition to just having time when you can play and reserve a table, there are leagues that take place here. Um, on Monday night, there's a 8-ball league, a USAPL 8-ball league. On Tuesday night, there's a BCA 9-ball league. On Wednesday night, there's a USAPL 10-ball league. And there are frequently chip tournaments on Friday evenings. So I was at the chip tournament last night, and we had a pretty good showing of maybe 15 players or so. And it's always a fun way to spend a Friday evening. So it looks, I can't tell if Adrian can see the edge of that 2-ball or not. I'm thinking he cannot. So he's going to try a 2-rail kick shot here. And miss that by a little bit. So David will have ball in hand. And the 9 is in the way of the obvious path for the 4. So he may be thinking about another quick game here and trying to take that 4-9 combo. Let's see what he tries to do here. If he just hits this real soft and leaves that cue ball between the 5 and the 8, we can expect an attempt on a combination on the 9 ball in the next shot. And that's exactly what he's done. There's no such thing as an easy combo shot unless one of the balls is sitting right on the corner. But it looks like he's got a pretty good chance on this one. So he'll take his time. You really want to avoid any kind of side spin on these types of shots. And he overcut it a little bit and did leave Adrian a shot on the 4. So Adrian's back to the table. Nice shot on the 4. Try to shoot the 5 into the upper left-hand corner and just stop the ball right there for the 6. Nice shot. And it looks like that 7 will go into the side, so I think he'll try to draw back here. That's what he's done. He's a little thin on this, so he may just try to come back and forth a little bit for the 8 into one of the lower pockets. It went off the point and did leave David a good opportunity to take this rack. He's got a pretty easy shot in the 7 here, and if he can get position on the 8, there aren't any problems here. Okay, drew it back. Gonna try to take the 8 in the side here. And then if that is pretty straight, and it looks like it is, he may just try to roll that cue ball forward a little bit and take the 9 into the bottom left-hand corner. Well, no matter what, he's going to have to roll forward because he's right on that rail. So he's just checking his angle out here. He may want to try, he may have to force this against the rail and bring the cue ball back to get the angle he's looking for. Okay, he just rolls it. Got a decent angle at the 9 in the lower right-hand corner, and this is for game number 15. He missed a shot. Showed a little frustration after that one. Adrian to shoot the 9 ball. And has also missed a shot. There's a lot of distance on this. So let's see how David attempts to go at this. I think I would try to roll it, but he tends to like to hit these a little harder. No, he just tried to roll that one. He missed it by just a little bit. That was a tough shot. Adrian will, I think, try to make this into the side pocket. Just wants to try to roll this one in. Oh, he was going for the bank shot. Very close. Got a little bit of a battle going on this 9 ball. It doesn't seem to want to go in, and there have definitely been some difficult shots that have been left on it as well, including this one. So David, I think, is going to try to cut this into the upper left-hand corner. Definitely not an easy cut. But he nailed it. Nice shot, David. Good afternoon, Max. How are you doing? That's true. Adrian doesn't just roll balls in, typically. He likes to give them a little pace as well. So David will be breaking from his left-hand side. Nice break. A little unfortunate leaving the 1. I guess he could try the 1-9 combo here. It seems tricky. But being that it's early in the game, he may give it a go, thinking that he'll still get another opportunity to get back up to the table if he doesn't make it. He's getting the bridge out. He may also be playing a safety here. Oh, it did go. I didn't think that went by the 9. Nice shot on the 1. He really just kind of had to accept the position he was going to get on the 2 there. The cue ball got away from David a little bit there, and Adrian will be back up to the table with ball in hand. The 4 is going to be challenging here. It's tied up with the 8. So I'm not sure how Adrian will try to handle that situation. It's possible he could try for a breakout. Although given the distance, it is a challenging shot. Max, yes, the schedule matches are on the tight pocket table. They are on uh, table 9, which was table 10. They are 4 and 1/8 inch pockets, so they can be very challenging. Cue ball got away. Got a little bit of an arrangement readjustment on the bottom part of the table. And Adrian is thinking about 3 fouls now. He's trying to play a safety here, I think. And he is going to try to hide this cue ball behind that big cluster. Unfortunately, I don't think that he was successful in hiding the cue ball, and even though David may not be able to make this 2, he can certainly see it. And David decided to come back with a safety of his own. Nice shot by David, hiding it behind the 9 ball. And Adrian will be going for what looks like a 2-rail kick here, maybe 3 rails. 1, 2, 3. Nice kick. And Adrian is pretty good at those kick shots. I believe that he has played a fair amount of 3 cushion as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think that he told me that at some point, or maybe his dad, Carlos, told me that. Okay, so David has a shot in the 4 here. We'll try to bring it back up to take the 5 into the same pocket. I think wants to try to maybe take the 6 into the same pocket as well. Well, it looks like he may be trying to position it below the 6 for the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so David's got a shot on the 6 here. And I can't tell for sure if that 7 goes by the 9. If the 7 does not go by the 9, he may consider a carom shot here as well. If it does, then I expect that he'll try to leave himself positioned on the 7, and then the 7, 8, 9 should be a fairly easy run out. I think it goes by there. It's tight. He's giving it a close look. So all 3 of these should be going in the same pocket. Okay. Maybe he was trying to spin that in a little bit. Maybe that wasn't quite there. Not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe the 7 didn't go and he was trying to play a safety. Okay, so Adrian on the 8 ball. He ran it a little further than he would have liked, but I think that he can still cut that into the side pocket. Yeah, maybe that 7 did not go. I thought maybe he'd be able to line up for a carom there as well, but Adrian pulled that match out and tied it back up. So we've got a really good back and forth match going on right now. They're trying to make it exciting for the viewers. And Jay is racking. Adrian to break. He's been breaking from his left-hand side. Jay's taking a little extra time to make sure this rack is just right. And one of the nice things about this schedule your own tournament is that because all the matches are not taking place at the same time, and in fact they're all taking place on the same table, we are able to stream all these matches and provide commentary for most of them. So it is fun being able to watch yourself play on a live stream, and also educational because it's helpful to go back and watch yourself play and see the kinds of mistakes or the kinds of things that you're doing well. Okay, looks like he's got it. Adrian to break. And another golden break. That 9 bounced around a few times, but it did make itself into the lower left-hand corner for a quick victory for Adrian. That's his first golden break, but David had one earlier. So Adrian retakes the lead. This has been going back and forth. And Adrian will break again for his left-hand side. Okay, dry break. 9 again, got very close to that corner. And that could definitely come into play on this rack. It could be that David is already thinking about that 3-9 combo. If he can take the 1-2 combo here, leave himself positioned on the 1 in the same pocket, and then try to come back down table and get a nice shot on that 3-1 combo. Well, that changes everything. He missed the combo, but he was fortunate to not leave Adrian anything in the process. Adrian's got a tough shot here just to hit the 1. That 6 may be providing some obstruction as well on the 1 rail kick. There is definitely an element of luck to 9 ball. The balls can roll funny sometimes, and slop does count. So as long as you hit your intended ball first, and then something hits a rail afterwards, funny things can happen after that. I think that he was trying to get that 9 ball out of the way there. And I am curious to see, well, Dave is not trying the 1-9 combo. I was wondering if he would consider that. But given that the 1 is and the 2 are both set up really well, and the 3-9 combo is a lot easier, I wouldn't be surprised if he attempts that one. Okay, so David coming down table, trying to position himself for the 3-9 combo here. Okay, after 18 games, it is 9-9. It has been a back and forth battle. Seen some great pool this afternoon. And the players are going to be taking a break right now. So I am going to take a quick break as well, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, looks like they're returning from their break. David to break. He's breaking from his left-hand side. And that 9 has been tracking towards that lower left-hand corner. So again, that could very much come into play for a potential combination shot to end this game early. Adrian does not have that combination shot right now. He may like to play a safety right here. Now he's doing a push out. And he might be trying to take that 9 out of play right away. Oof, smart play. It almost hung up there, which would have been a big problem, but fortunately it did not. So David is back up to the table. Okay. David plays a safety there. And Adrian's to the table. It looks like he's going to try to go rail first and go into that 1. You try to put some right hand spin on that. Maybe a little too much pace for that spin to really catch. I think if you would hit that just a little bit softer, that spin would have had a better chance of catching and him hitting that 1 ball. So David does have ball in hand right here. Looks like he's lining up to take this with a little bit of top and try to leave himself for the 2 into the side corner, excuse me, the side pocket. So he'll be taking the 2 into the side here. And position on the 3. He's just, that was a nice shot. He just inched it up there, took a real soft shot, and was able to give himself position to make the 3 into the lower right hand corner. He may try to draw out of this to get back to get the 4 into the side. And he did. Nice position there. He's right where he wants to be on that 4, just a little bit above it, so that the natural angle will bring the cue ball down table for the 5. Okay, he's got a good shot of the 5 here. He's just thinking through his path. Get the 5 in. Left himself a nice angle on the 6. Does that 6 not go by there? Is he having to do a combination here? He did have to do a combination. 6 got away from him a little bit there, and he left himself a tough shot. He might be trying a bank shot here, or he may just be going for a safety. He can try to use that 8 and 9 as a blocker if he does want to try to go for a safety here. Very nicely done. Played safety all the way and left a very tricky shot for Adrian. He's probably going to try to go off of this bottom rail, kick off of this bottom rail, and then probably take a second. Okay, he's going to top. Trying to do 2 rails here, maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice hit. David has a shot on the 6. It's not an easy one. And that cue ball would be moving a little bit, so even if he does make it, position on the 8 is not guaranteed. He did make the 6 and didn't leave himself easy on the 8, but a very makeable shot. I expect that he'll try to put a little bit of draw on this and try to take the 9 into the same pocket, that lower left-hand corner, as the 8. Just like that. Nice shot. Nice position. And David takes game number 19 and is now up 10 games to 9. So I do want to give a shout out to Zach Sykes, who has been organizing the DMV Pool Championships and has spent a lot of time organizing and running these tournaments, either reffing or commentating or just providing technical assistance. So he's really gone above and beyond and has done a great job keeping this moving. So another chance for an early game here. Adrian is probably thinking about that 2-9 combo if he can pocket this 1 ball. He overcut it just a little bit. Fortunately for Adrian, he did not leave David an easy shot, maybe not a shot at all. So David will probably have to try to play some kind of safety here. He may just try to catch that left edge of the 1 ball and kind of leave that behind the, hopefully leave the 1 behind the 3, and then bring the cue ball back down table to kind of where it is right now, ideally. So the 1 leaked out. Adrian does have a shot at it. And getting back down to the 2 is going to be a little tricky. I expect that he'll try to put some low right on this and take it a couple of rails. He overcut the shot, and did leave David a pretty good opportunity on the one here and a potential shot, either carom or combo shot on the 2-9 if he, and it does look like he's trying to line up for that. Okay, he forced the one in there. I think he would have liked to bring the one down a little further, but he is looking at that 2-9 combo and is going to try to end this game early. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it was never an easy combo, and particularly from that angle, it was fairly challenging. So Adrian can see the 2. Just want to feather this in. Or play a safety. David, I think, can see the edge of that 2 ball, but that side pocket is a big pocket there, so rather than risk scratching in that side, he may elect to do a one rail kick shot or a jump shot here. It looks like he's getting out a short cue, so he's going to try to jump this and hopefully stop it right there. So if he is to make it, that he will have position on the 3. It's a nice attempt. And he did leave Adrian a little funny in the process as well. I'm not sure if that point is in the way of the 2 going into the upper left-hand corner, but it may be. Well, it looks like he can see it. He overcut it, maybe intentionally. And I'm not sure if he was trying to play safe there, but if he did, that was a heck of a shot. So David is back up to the table, and he is trying to do a little masse here, and got a little too much. Missed the 2 ball, and that will give Adrian ball in hand. Nice position on the 3. I think he'll probably just try to draw this one back as well to leave himself with a 4 in the upper left-hand corner. And these balls look like they're laid out pretty nicely. Overran that a little bit. Gave himself a tough angle on the 4. It's still a makeable shot, but he would have liked to have been a little straighter on that. It will also make it a little more challenging to get position on the 5. Although it's a fairly natural angle if he just kind of runs it off the rail and back to get straight onto that 5 into the side. He bumped the 5. Missed his cut on the 4 a little bit. But did make this table a little more challenging by bumping that 5. Okay, nice shot. David is going to attempt to make the 6 into the upper right-hand corner. Nice shot on the 6 ball. He left himself a little off angle on the 7, but I expect that he'll try to back cut that into the lower left-hand corner, and if he does, then that should leave him fairly natural position to take the 8 into the same corner. Thank you. Nice shot on the 7. He's got some distance here, but the 8 is relatively close to the pocket. He'll probably want to try to put some top onto this, so if he does make it, he'll leave himself a better chance of getting position on the 9. Nice shot on the 8. Bumped into the 9, which sets himself up for a pretty makeable shot into the upper right-hand corner. Okay, nice shot by David, and he takes an 11-9 lead. Okay, David to break. Okay, Adrian, nice attempt on the 1 on a bank shot. Just missed into the side. David will be trying to make the 1 into the same side. Just rolling this forward, leave himself position on the 2. Nice shot. So David can see this 3, and I think that he's going to have to try to kind of draw out of this to get onto the 4 ball on the bottom on the top rail. And he does so nicely. He left himself maybe a little more angle on the 4 than he would have liked to, because that 5 is right on that same rail. So he may elect to go up and down table to try to get back on that 5. And that's exactly what he tried to do. Unfortunately, he caught the 6 in the process and didn't leave himself any kind of easy shot on the 5. The combos are obstructed in both directions by the 8 and the 9 ball. It'd be pretty risky trying that 5-9 combo, But there are also, I think that he'll probably try to get it behind that 7. It's a very touchy shot, but let's see if he can hide that cue ball behind the 7. Nice try. Adrian can see the 5. He doesn't have an easy pocket for it, but he can see it. It looks like he's thinking about trying to bank it, or maybe trying to. I don't know if he was maybe trying to make the 9 there. He didn't really have a shot, so he was just trying to create something. So David can see the 5. He's got a little bit of work to do to get back down for the 6. I think a little safer route would be keeping that cue ball a little high on the 6 and taking a little tougher cut on it. But he did not take the safer route on that. He had a real nice stroke there and got perfect position on the 6. I think he's got just enough angle to get up to the 7 without too much of a problem. Uh-oh. 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 That was unfortunate. I was a little surprised he even came that close to the side. But even with these tight pockets, things like that can happen. So Adrian has a good opportunity to get it a little closer here. He's got the 8 ball. Just try to put a little bit of top on this, run it back up for the 9. He overran it a little bit. So he's given himself a little tougher cut, but I think still a very makeable 9 ball in the lower left-hand corner. And he does in fact make it. Uh-oh, is this going for the pocket as well? Slow down. Yeah, it was going for the pocket. It slowed down just in time and to prevent the scratch. And Adrian puts another one on the board to keep this match very close. David is up 11-10. Okay, so Adrian to break. Looks like there might be the players might be taking a quick break here. Okay, Adrian to break. He did make a ball on the break. He may have to play a push out here. I'm not sure if there are any obvious shots, or may like to try to play some sort of safety. Playing a push out. Maybe that means the 2 does not go on the side. Or perhaps he's thinking even if the 2 does go on the side, that he's leaving himself in such a spot that he won't barely be able to get down to get position on the 3. So David makes a good attempt, but it was always going to be difficult to get on that 3. He does, however, have an easy kick shot, so if he can successfully pull this off, this will be a good opportunity to keep that cue ball down on the bottom and snooker Adrian in the process. He missed it by a little bit, sold out on that. And I think that Adrian can see that 3 ball okay. The 4 may be in the way. He's going to hit that 4 regardless if he tries to make this 3. So it is a question of where that decides to go for this next shot if he can pot the 3. Played safety, and I think that he was trying to avoid that 4 ball, but it did hit that. So now David has an opportunity to make the 3 ball. Again, position on the 4 is going to be a little tricky, but he does have a better shot on the 3 than Adrian did. He may be trying to hit this relatively soft and just trying to catch the edge of that 9 ball, and then that could potentially give him position for the 3 and actually one of 3 pockets. Maybe that, any of those right-hand side pockets. He decided to hit it harder and made the ball. You can see the 4. I think it goes in the side. He's looking at position on the 5. He's got a relatively small window there. He looks like he's trying to put the cue ball in such a, well, now he's reassessing. But getting on that 5 is going to be tricky. So he can see the 5. It's not an easy shot. And if he does try to cut it into the lower left-hand corner, he's contending with that, upper left-hand corner, he's contending with a potential scratch into the upper right-hand corner. So he has to be careful about that. I think he might be trying a safety here. No, he did try to cut it, and did real nice on that. So he'll try the 6 into the side pocket. And leaves himself to try the 7 in the lower left-hand corner. Again, this is a delicate shot because he is pretty close to that rail, and he would prefer to put a little pace on this to leave it for the 8, but by putting that additional pace on it, it increases the likelihood that he would scratch. He left himself a back cut on the 8. He'll try to cut that 8 into the lower left-hand pocket. And that 9 ball's relatively in the center of the table, so I don't think you need to worry too much about position, but really just focus on making this shot. He rattled it. I think Adrian can see that okay. So Adrian does have an opportunity to try to tie this match up again.
That's your dumbass talking?
A little unfortunate there. David will take this game and we'll go up 12-10. And there have been a few different people commentating. Bethany Sykes has definitely been doing the lion's share of the work. She's been commentating most of these matches and has been doing a really great job. But a couple of other people have been filling in. I've filled in for a couple of matches. I think Zach has been doing some commentating as well. And I know that Hank Stokes commentated for Bethany's match a few days ago and did a great job as well. So we've got a dry break. Adrian is deciding what he wants to do with this 1 ball. He did try to cut it in. He overcut it and set up a pretty good shot opportunity for David, who will try to make the 1 ball into the upper right hand corner, and it looks like he's going to try to draw this off to the rail for the 2 in the side afterwards. I think he was trying to bring that a little further out. I don't think he was trying to leave himself a position for the 2-9 combo. That is a pretty challenging combo. I think that he will still try to take this 2 in the side. The problem is position on the 3 afterwards. Although the 3-5 might actually go, and the good thing about that, oh, he did go for the 2-9. That was a pretty challenging shot. Adrian is up at the table. He'll go for the 2-6 combo here. And nice shot. The 2 is easy, but getting position on the 3 is not. So let's see what he comes up with here. Nice try. What he does have is an easy safety shot here. He's going to stick him right on this 7. If he hit that just a little softer, he could have potentially positioned himself for a 3-9 combo, trying to snooker David and get ball in hand for a 3-9 combo. Unfortunately, that 3 did go below the 9, so that shot is not going to be a possibility. So David's back up to the table. He's going to try Kick shot here. And just missed the 3. That was a nice attempt. Adrian has ball in hand. The 3 looks good. The 4 looks good. The 5 he may have to try to do a 5-8 combo, unless when he makes the 4 he can potentially get that 8 out of the way and still leave himself for a shot on the 5. Okay, so Adrian has a pretty good shot on the 4 and actually a fairly decent angle to kind of run into that 8 and potentially take the 5 into the side. Well, he hit it a little harder and opted to create a shot where he can make the 5 in the lower right hand corner, and it looks like he's done so successfully. Nice cut on the 5, natural position on the 7. Let's see what he does on the 7 to 8 here. This cue ball will be going off the top rail, and I think ideally he'd like to get down where he can take that 8 in the side. He left himself a little more difficult shot, but certainly a makeable one, and this is the shot for this rack right here. If he can make this, the 9 is close enough to the pocket where it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Nice shot on the 8. He's got a lot of distance on this, but as I said, it's pretty close to the pocket, so I do think that he'll make this one. Oh. It went off the rail. And David has a potential cut shot into the lower left-hand corner. Nice shot by David. David goes up 13 to 10. And my screen has gone fuzzy. Hopefully, oh, there it goes. It's back again. Okay, so David is up 13 racks to 10. Again, this is a race to 15. It's been a pretty close match with Adrian and David both being in the lead at different times during the match. David has pulled away a little bit in the past couple of games. So let's see if Adrian has some kind of response to this and is able to keep this close. Of course, David is up to break. It's a dry break though, so Adrian is up to the table and can see the 1 and may try to cut that 1 into the corner. It's thin. No, he decided to play a safety instead. He was trying to get back down behind that cluster of balls. Unfortunately, he caught the 4 ball on the way down, and David will have a shot at the 1 here, and pretty good opportunity to get position on the 2 as well. Getting onto the 3 is going to be a challenge. That 4 is blocking it. So he may try to shoot to set himself up for a safety, or maybe the bank shot. It looks like he was trying to see if he could put that cue ball somewhere where he may be able to bank that 3. He's going to put top on this, take it up table, and then back down. And he got that right where he wanted it. That's pretty much right where he pointed at the table. He's been kind of marking where he's trying to leave position on a lot of his shots. So he may opt to go for the bank here, or maybe the carom. I think that the carom shot may be on if he catches just the edge of that 3. And that's exactly what he tried to do, and almost made it so close. But that 9 hung up there, and so Adrian is still alive this game. He has a shot on the 3 up into the upper left-hand corner. And I think that he was trying to, well, he was either trying to play a safety there, or he was trying to spin back into the 9 ball. Unfortunately, neither came to fruition. David does have a shot on the 3. The 4 is tricky. I think if I were David in this position, I would try to pocket the 3 and set myself up for a safety shot onto the 4 where you just hit that 4 relatively straight on and try to stick it right behind that 7. And then if you can stick it and... Oh, he tried to make the 9 right there. So he was never going for the 3 there. He was trying to get the angle where he could come off of the 3 and have the cue ball go into the 9. Adrian was playing a safety there. The result wasn't exactly what he anticipated, but it was good. So I think that David will be getting a short cue out here and attempting a jump shot. He needs to make sure to hit this. Now he's just going to get rid of the 9. He was too concerned about potentially knocking the cue ball off the table in a jump shot or missing the ball altogether and leaving ball in hand for Adrian where he would have had an easy combo. So he just got that 9 out of play and changed the dynamic of the game. Given the angle he's trying to put on this, I wonder if he is trying to play some kind of safety here as well. The 3 obviously is makeable, but if he can't get under the 4, then maybe it's not worth it. So he was trying to play a safety. Unfortunately, the cue ball got away from him just a little bit and found its way into one of the pockets. So David now has pretty much the same shot or a very similar shot. Looks like he's trying for a breakout here, trying to find the right angle to pocket the 3 into the side and then take the cue ball into that set of 3 balls and create a potential opportunity there. So let's see how this goes. He'll be putting a little bit of top on this and just trying to take it straight down. Well, maybe that's what he was trying to do all along. I'm not sure if that 4 gets by the 7 to go into that that top left-hand corner. If it doesn't, then he'll just be playing a safety here. Looks like he's trying to just catch the edge of that 4 and then putting the cue ball up on the other side to create to snooker Adrian, and has done so successfully. Adrian will try to kick this shot 1 cushion. He's got two options. He can either take it off the bottom cushion, which is what it looks like he's trying to do, or he could take it off of that left side cushion as well. It looks like he's trying to take it off the bottom and try to do a kick and stick here. Get a good hit. I think he was trying to hide the cue ball behind the 7, and it did sneak out, so David will have a shot on the 4. And if he can make this, balls are looking pretty good. The 7 might be a little more challenging to get onto just because of the 8 ball being right there and it taking away some of the angle. Okay, this will be, I think, the most challenging positional shot of the game, trying to get from that 6 to that 7 because there is a fairly limited window there. You've got the 9 on one side and the 8 on the other. And it looks like he took it too far. He did get snookered behind the 9 ball. So he will have to try to do a kick shot here. Not sure if he can get the cue ball between the 8 and the 9 to do the kick shot from that short rail. If so, that would be preferable. If not, then he'll have to go off that bottom rail. And I think I would try to hit this at medium pace. That way you can have a better opportunity of getting some separation here. You get it pretty hard. Adrian has a shot, but nothing easy, including the position on the 8. So let's see what he does with this. He missed a shot, but also left David a tough shot on the 7 in the process. So David, it looks like a pretty thin cut. He's looking at it, but even if he can make that cut, position on the 8 is not going to be easy. So he may try to do a bank shot here. If not, he may just opt for some kind of safety as well. I mean, the cut is there, but that cue ball is going to be flying, and it's going to be really tough to predict where it ends up. He does try the cut and lost the cue ball. So Adrian does have a pretty good opportunity here to try to get one back. He really needs to try to take advantage of this at this point in the match to keep it close. There's a huge difference between 14-10 and 13-11. Nice little bump, friendly bump on the 9. Looks like he'll take this rack with a relatively easy shot into the side pocket. And it's 13-11. That was an important game for Adrian to keep within striking distance in this match. I know Dion Chapman was on the feed earlier. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but he is the owner of Streetlights Billiards Academy, and so always a shout out of appreciation to him for bringing this place to fruition and making it the great establishment that it has. He's really committed to the game and development of the game, and puts an emphasis on quality. And so I do appreciate that He's really strived to bring the best equipment in here and make sure that players are maintaining it properly. It's a great place. So thanks, Dion, for making all of this happen. Okay, Adrian has a shot on the 1. He overcut it just a little bit. So David will try to cut this 1, I think, into the lower right-hand corner, but is thinking about position and how he's going to try to get onto this 2, because it looks like he's trying to hold it there maybe, but that's going to be a really delicate shot if he does that. Yeah, I think I would have tried to go a couple rails on that. I mean, that 2 is in the center, and so it has a lot of pockets. By going and trying to hold that shot like that, it always makes that shot a little more difficult. So Adrian will be going for the 2 ball in the side pocket, trying to run the cue ball off the top rail and come back down for the 3. And that's a pretty good angle there where he can just put some top on this and try to bring himself up for that 4 on the side. The 5 ball is going to be tricky. It's kind of tied up. Oh, he was trying to break out, trying to create something right there with a breakout shot. It was a nice attempt and did get rid of that 7, so it does create some additional opportunity, but that 5 is close enough to the 9 where it's still going to be very difficult to get the right angle on that and be able to pot it. He gave that one a nice stroke. It was off by just a little bit, and that does bring David back up to the table with an easy shot on the 4, but again, a challenge to figure out what to do with that 5. I guess there's a slight possibility you could try to come short side and do that 5-9 combo. Although that's, I mean, trying to get that position obviously is very challenging. I just don't know if he can get an angle on the 5 coming from the other side or not. Okay, so you can see the 5. I'm not sure. I don't think he can cut that in. He's getting the bridge out. And he may just try to clip the right hand edge of this and bring the cue ball back down table. No, he went straight at it. Was trying to play a safety, create distance, and did. So this is a very challenging shot for Adrian. In addition to it being a hard shot in the first place, the other potential problem here is a scratch into that upper left-hand corner if he does try to make it into the upper right-hand corner. I think that he needs to try to play a safety back here. And I think he did. I don't think he was ever trying to make that. I think that he was just trying to catch the edge of it, take it off one rail, leave it in the center, leave the 5 ball in the center on the top rail, and trying to bring the cue ball back down table to create a distance again. It did leak out a little more than he would have liked, so David will probably try to cut this in and would have natural position on the 7 if it does go in. He missed it. So Adrian has a similar type of shot Relatively challenging cut on the 5, but natural position on the 7 if it does go in. So I hit this pretty soft or hard. It worked out pretty well. 7's an easy shot. He should be able to leave himself position on the 8, and then the 8 to the 9 will be the question whether or not he tries to do one of two things here. He can try to bring it around 2 rails for the 9 in the same pocket, or he can just roll it up real soft and take the longer shot of the 9 in the lower right hand corner. He tried to bring it around a couple rails. He got a little fortune on that. I think David probably goes for the 8-9 combo here, but obviously complicates the situation by having the 9 blocking that 8 from just going straight in and trying to leave yourself position for the 9 on the next shot. I guess the other thing he could consider here is trying to play a safety, maybe just trying to edge that 8 ball, hit it real soft, and trying to leave the cue ball behind the 9. So taking that just like that. Nice shot. Adrian has a relatively easy kick shot to hit the 8, but as to what's going to happen to the 8 after he hits it, it's difficult to say. It's really tough to control where that cue ball and that 8 are going to end up, and there's a very good chance that he could leave David an easy out here. Nice hit on the 8. David has a tough shot on the 8. He may try to bank this into the upper right-hand corner. Upper left-hand corner, excuse me. Now he's trying to play safety here, trying to hide it behind that 9. He didn't get behind the 9, but still a good shot. Nothing easy for Adrian here. The bank is not on. The cut is very tough. And unfortunately, Adrian scratched. Unless, of course, you're rooting for David, then you would consider that fortunate. David just draws the 8 ball back a little bit, leaves himself a nice shot on the 9, and should take game 25 here. Nice shot by David. Watch out for that side pocket. He just missed it. So David goes up 14 games to 11. David is on the hill. This is a race to 15. Jay to rack. David to break. Okay, here's David's break. At 9 is not quite going to make it to that pocket, but it certainly did try. David did make 2 balls in the break. He's shooting at the 2 ball. And I think the 2 goes by the 8 if he wants to try to cut that into the upper right-hand corner. Nice shot. Left himself position on the 3. And actually has a bigger pocket there because of the 9. So even if that 3 is a little off, it's certainly increases the probability that that will go in the hole. And he did need that 9 ball to make it. I think that it probably would not have gone in otherwise. Okay, the 4 to the 6 is a little tricky. He's gonna, I think, draw this over, and it looks like try to take that 6 into the side pocket. It looks fairly tight, but I think if he's close to his work on this, he should be okay. And he left himself a good angle on that to get over to the 7. I'll just take this back and forth. Uh-oh, watch out for that side pocket. Watch out for that side pocket. Okay, so I think Adrian is probably feeling a little relieved to get back up to the table right now because it did look like David had a good opportunity for a break and run there. And Adrian really does need to take advantage of this. David is on the hill. Nice shot on the 7. Although he probably left himself a little more challenging on the 8 than he would have liked to. He's pretty straight. And so he may have to draw this back, which means he's going to have to hit a little harder than he'd like to. And it looks like he's going top on it. Top and 3 rails maybe. 1, 2, 3. Pretty nice shot. He's got some angle on this, but certainly his for the taking. Okay, he's taking his time on this, appropriately so. This is an extremely important shot to keep him alive. Ooh, he missed it. Okay, so David has a good opportunity to take the match right here. If it were me, I'd try to take this 9 into the side pocket. That's what he's looking at. Doesn't have to worry about too much here, except pocketing the ball. Just wants to hit this at a relatively soft pace. Ooh, he overcut it. Left Adrian tricky, especially considering that 9's sitting right over the side. But Adrian's still got a tough shot. I don't know if he can cut that in. He may have to try to take that into the corner. Attempts in the corner and missed a shot, but left David tough. And so Adrian does have a good chance of getting up to the table for one more chance. David tried to cut it. I think he just missed the cut, but caught it on the backside. So Adrian to shoot. And Adrian is still alive. It is 14 to 12, and this has been a close match all the way through. David has accelerated a little bit here at the end to take a few game lead, but it had been back and forth up until maybe game 11 or even 12. Adrian does have the break here. David is on the hill. They both have one golden break so far this match, and just throughout this tournament, that 9-ball has been going from time to time. So we do have another match happening today at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. today we have Ilir Jahu playing Junik June. And then tomorrow at 2 p.m. we have Andy Huang versus Hank Stokes. Adrian did make a break on the ball there. I don't think that he can see that one, so he may elect to do a push out here. And then some other upcoming matches. On Sunday at 7 p.m. we have Omar Abbasi versus Bhavin Patel. And then on Monday I will be playing Todd Wolf. I am Todd Wolf. We'll be playing at 8 p.m. against Omer Nawazi. And all of those matches will be streamed. Okay, so deliberating on what to do with the one here. Probably trying to leave the one near that top right rail and then bring the cue ball down to the lower. Well, no, he took a different path. Adrian can see that one ball. He missed it. So David's back up to the table. Not sure if he can try to take that one straight into the two to carom it into the side pocket. If so, he may elect to attempt that. If not, then I'm guessing that he'll try to find some kind of safety, maybe trying to draw the cue ball back behind the 8 and the 6. Okay, well, not sure if he was trying for that 1-2 combo, but pretty close. Nice attempt there. And left Adrian a tough shot on the 1 as well. I don't think he can see it in that corner. So I think he was trying to play a safety there. Got away from him a little bit, and David will have a 1-2 combo. And he wants to try to hit this pretty softly. He does not want that 1 to go in. Because best case scenario, if the 1 does follow the 2 in, he's got the 3-8 combo as a backup, which is not an ideal backup. Okay, well, he didn't hit it softly, but he did hit it well and positioned himself very well on the 1. And he's looking at trying to get short side on that 3 and make that 3 into the lower right hand corner. So he'll try to draw back here. And he doesn't have a big window there, but I think that he is trying to get behind that 3 ball on the left hand side. Well, that's what he had been looking at, but I guess he changed his mind and decided he wanted to go for the 3-8 combos instead. Really nice attempt on the 3-8 combo. The 8 just held up. So Adrian will be up to the table. He'll be trying the same combo, the 3-8 combo. And the 3 stayed up. Let's see how he can get onto the 4 here. Might just be drawn straight back. And he needs to avoid that side pocket. And he hit the side pocket. Accidentally hit the 4 ball, but put it back approximately where it was before. So David will be trying to position this, I'm guessing for the 5 on the side, but potentially in the corner. I'm guessing he's going to just follow this 4 ball a little bit, try to take that 5 into the side. And then ideally he doesn't want to be totally straight on that 6, because if he's got just a little bit of an angle one way or the other, I think it'll be a little easier to get back onto the 9 ball. Looks like he's leaving himself just a little bit of an angle here as well, I'm guessing, so he doesn't get stuck on the rail. Nicely played. He's pretty straight on the 5, which is what he wanted. And I think if it were me, I would run this cue ball a little forward and then just use that rail on the next shot to come back onto the 9 from the 6, just like that. Maybe just a hair more angle that he wanted, but that should be totally fine. Just give this a nice stroke. You don't have to hit it too hard. Okay. He overcut the 6 and let Adrian a shot on it. The cue ball is on the wrong side of the 6 to get easy position on the 9, so I think that there's enough of an angle where he just wants to try to take this light, maybe put a hair of inside English on it. Nice shot. left himself a little bit closer to the 50-yard line than they would have liked to on that. So now he's got a tough decision on what he wants to do with this 9 ball. It's a tough cut. Looks like he might be trying to bank it. He is trying to bank it. He's a little off on that, and unfortunately, he left it on the pocket. I think if you're going to try to do that bank shot, you can't do it at pocket speed. You've got to give it just a little bit more pace so that if it does not go in, it doesn't leave it on the pocket like that. Just kind of a little bit of an insurance policy on the back end. Oh no. Can he see that? I think so. I don't think they got caught on the point. Okay, so Adrian feels very fortunate to get another opportunity here. And he did take that game, so it is now 14 for David and 13 for Adrian. This has been a very close match throughout and continues to be a nail biter. So Adrian will have the break. Nice break by Adrian. 1 goes into the side pocket. The 2, he has a shot on the 2 into the upper left-hand pocket. And I think he needs to try to leave himself for the 3 into one of the corners. I don't think it goes into the side there. So he'll probably try to put some low right on this and position himself so he can make that 3 into the lower right hand corner. Was a little fortunate on that position there. Nice cut by Adrian to make that 3 into the corner pocket. He does have a shot in the 4. It's going to be a bit of a tester. There's a lot of distance there. And I can't tell for sure, but I think that 5 goes by the 8 and the 9. Just rattle the 4. So David will be back up to the table. And he has a shot of the 4. And if that 5 does get by there, then he's got pretty easy position on that 5 as well. Okay, so he pockets the 4 ball. The 5 must go. He's looking at that. Just needs to be a little careful here on how to get back up to that 6. I think he wants to put some low left on this and come around a couple of rails. If he just tries to come up one rail, that 7's a big ball and could potentially get in the way, or he ends up on short side. So he's got to come a couple of rails around here. Well, maybe the 5 wasn't positioned to go, and so he was attempting to play a safety there. Or maybe he was trying to go off of one of the other balls. Okay. So Adrian missed his shot, so David comes back up to the table. And David has a long shot on the 5. If he can make this, it should be fairly natural position on the 6. So I think you just need to really double down on making the shot and not worry so much about position on this particular one. And these tight pockets come into play frequently. Okay, so Adrian is assessing the situation, and it looks like he is going to be attempting this cut. It's a challenging one. And he overcut it a little bit. Let's see where that cue ball ends up. Okay, so David has an easy shot on the 5. And shouldn't have any problem getting onto that 6 ball either. He has a good opportunity to run this table out. I think he just needs to stay focused. The 7 can go on the side, and then the 8 and the 9 in that bottom left-hand corner pretty easily. So looks like he's going to be fine there. He gave the 7 a little nudge, but didn't cause any problems one way or the other. He's going to try to just run this up a little bit to leave himself a position shot to make that 7 into the left side pocket. And left himself a natural angle on that. I don't know if he really needs to put much of anything on this. He may decide to just put a little bit of draw on it. But I really don't think you want to do too much with this ball. Just kind of pocket speed into the side pocket. Nice shot. Where's this going to end up? He got a little more angle than he wanted, and he has to use the bridge because he can't reach it. So it has an element of difficulty to the shot, but I still do expect that he will make this. And the 9 is pretty close to the corner, so he should have a pretty good opportunity to run this rack out. I think this cue ball is going to go around a couple of rails. 3 rails probably. No, he just decided to go soft with it instead. I think I would try to go a couple rails and bring it closer, but then of course when you do that you always risk the scratch as well. So he decided to take the scratch out of the equation, leave himself a little longer shot on the 9, knowing that it was sitting pretty close to the pocket, and is just going to rely on his shot making ability here to take the match. So very nice shot from David. A great match overall. Both players did extremely well. So shout out to David and Adrian. And I will now turn it over to Zach for his wrap up.
All right, Zach Sykes, tournament director here. Wow, what a match. That was a nail biter all the way to the end. Great shooting, David, for getting the win. Great shooting, Adrian, pulling it that close. I think that 514 is going to be going up here pretty soon. A quick shout out to our sponsors. We've got Bobby Chamberlain with Legends of Pocket Billiards, myself, Zach Sykes, my company Renegade Health Group, helping you with your nutrition and fitness needs, pool-specific workouts. We've got Chris Wilburn with United States Billiards Academy. He does a lot of instruction here at the Academy for us. If you're looking for some lessons, he gives some great ones. And of course, the visionary Dion Chapman, owner of Streetlights Billiards Academy and DMV Pool Championships, helping us put this on, allowing us to use his space. It's an amazing facility if you haven't been through. And then, of course, special shout out to Todd Wolf, the new Jerry Jones. I think he's going to be vying for some national spotlight here pretty soon. What a great commentary that was. And thank you to the fans paying attention. We've got another match coming up tonight. Barn Burner, Mr. Ilir Jaho versus Junik June. So that's going to be a hell of a match. Hope you can join us in just a few hours.